You know what? I'm done. Cut. Marriage is hard work, and it's not for the faint of heart. When you say I do, everything changes. Expectations and responsibilities are thrust upon you that you didn't know you had. It's hard for most people to transition from fiance to husband and wife. But in this video, I want to give you 6 principles that you can apply right now, whatever stage you are in your marriage. If you put in the effort, I guarantee you, you will get the results. Let's get to the content. Number 1, be a good listener. Listening is essential to developing meaningful relationships, and what better relationship there is to develop than the one with your spouse. You see, James 1 tells us to be slow to speak and quick to hear. Why? Because that's the wise thing to do. Being a good listener will help you better understand your spouse and empathize with their concerns. And being a good listener will encourage your spouse to want to communicate with you more openly and frequently. And also be a good learner. When you listen, you learn, and when you learn, you acquire knowledge. Learn your spouse, identify what they like and dislike, what makes them feel special, what makes them feel bad. Learn your spouse, understand what makes them tick. Don't just let someone else love your spouse better than you can love your spouse. Go beyond the surface and love what's on the inside. Tap into the inside of what your spouse loves. When you know better, do better, and be a good leader. Now this one is for the men. Leading your family is not optional. Leading your family is a requirement. Voddie Baucham said, a man's failing to lead is actually a man's leading in failure, and no one wants to be a failure. As husbands, we must lead by example. Don't expect anyone to do something for you that you wouldn't do for them or do for yourself. Jesus told his disciples that the greatest among you is the servant. So husbands, if we want our wives to serve us, we must first serve them. If we want our wives to be sacrificing of us, we must first sacrifice for them. Husbands, we must serve and be sacrificial. That is how we truly lead by example. To whom much is given, much is required. And true leadership is more than power. It's really understanding responsibility. And be a good lover, not just intimately, but wholeheartedly. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, to be genuine and sincere with your love. Again, don't let someone better love your spouse than you can love your spouse. Don't let someone know the intimate details of your spouse and tap into that area that you can't tap into. Put in the effort, develop that relationship and that bond, build trust and safety with your spouse. Use your acquired knowledge to better handle day-to-day life with your spouse. And guess what? Love, true love, covers a multitude of sins. Practice what the Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 13 about love. Read that chapter and apply it to your marriage. And don't be a liability. Are you a burden or a blessing? Are you a problem solver or just a problem? Do you only complain about the issues, or do you contribute in finding the solution? Make sure your spouse can depend on you. Understand, each spouse has strengths and weaknesses. But the question is, do you know your weaknesses? Do you know your blind spots? Listen, identifying and correcting your liabilities starts the process of you becoming an asset. And practice letting go. Now, this is probably the most important principle. Research has shown us that people who are good, who do well at forgiving others, typically experience fewer negative health issues like heart disease and weakened immune system. Research has also shown us that it helps you lower mental stress and symptoms as well, like depression. Holding on to anger and frustration can lead to resentment and bitterness, which can lead to separation or divorce. Listen, marriage is a marathon. Pace yourselves. Love each other well. Forgive quickly and practice these principles. If these tips helped you and you want more information, consider subscribing to my channel. Like, comment, share this video with your friends. As always, this is By the Book. Peace.